Should you use phrase match keywords for your lead generation campaigns in Google Ads? In this video, I'm going to give my honest thoughts on phrase match for lead generation campaigns and share if you really need to use them and if there are any good use cases for them. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I'm the founder of Level 28 Media, and I help local service-based businesses generate leads from Google Ads. So if you're interested in an audit or managed services and you're spending at least $2,000 a month, check out the link below and I'd be more than happy to have a discovery call with you. Now, before I dive into if you should use phrase match or not, I want to give you the Google definition of phrase match as I pulled it from the Google Help article based on the match types. Pulled the specific definition here. Phrase match. Ads may show on searches that include the meaning of your keyword. The meaning of your keyword can be implied, and user searches can be a more specific form of the meaning. With phrase match, you can reach more searches than with exact match and fewer searches than with broad match, only showing your ads on searches that include your product or service. The syntax for phrase match is to put quotes around your keywords, such as tennis shoes. Below is an example of how phrase match works. Tennis shoes with the quotes can have your ads show on searches for shoes for tennis, buy tennis shoes on sale, red tennis shoes, comfortable tennis sneakers. Ads won't show for tennis store, shop for sneakers. So this is just a small snippet of searches that your ads can appear on. What I've seen very heavily this year is Google getting to determine the meaning of your keyword, picking competitors to match you to, and saying that Adidas is the same as a tennis shoe, Converse is the same as a tennis shoe, Steve Madden is the same as a tennis shoe. And you and I can sit here and argue that Steve Madden does make tennis shoes, but they also make heels and other types of shoes. So it wouldn't make sense for us to show up for that. And the challenge is when you use phrase match, you're letting Google decide the meaning of your keyword. Google can match you to any type of keyword, to any type of search that it thinks has the same meaning. I've also seen cases where it will match to phone numbers and other competitors. The challenge here is it doesn't always abide by its definition of matching to the meaning of your keyword. You and I can sit here and argue that if we're bidding on a keyword like bankruptcy lawyer, John Smith LLP is a lawyer, but he doesn't do bankruptcy. He does divorce work. Google just puts John Smith LLP as a match for bankruptcy lawyer, and you get that click and you have to pay because Google gets to make the definition for it. That's where the challenge is. Or it will match you to John Smith's phone number, and yes, he is a lawyer, but he doesn't actually offer the service that you are looking for anyway. Or even if he does, you're not actually looking for John Smith. You're looking for, other just bankruptcy lawyer. So that's where the challenge here is Google gets to decide on the meaning for you. So that's what I've seen very heavily this year. Lots of loose searching. You and I can sit here and argue. A lot of times they search terms that you will see versus the keywords that you type in do not have the same meaning. So you need to monitor your search terms if you're going to use phrase match. As of 2024, we're actually at the end of Q4 2024, as I'm recording this, here are my honest thoughts on phrase match. I don't actually see any true benefit in using it these days. It's a hard line to draw between broad and phrase these days. Honestly, if you're looking to use phrase, you might as well just use broad because broad match has more benefits that I'm going to talk about in the next few bullet points. As I've been doing my testing, I found that broad match actually performs better than phrase match in giving me better conversion volume, better click-through rates, and especially when I'm using smart bidding strategies. Thing that I want to point out here is smart bidding plus broad match takes into account these things. I'm going to highlight it for you. Your user's search history, other keywords in your ad group, and the user's location. If you're using phrase match and smart bidding, you don't get the benefit of this. But if you're using broad match and smart bidding, you do get this benefit. So if you're going to use phrase match, you don't get any true benefit. You're just going to be getting loose matching, and you're not getting the user history, Google taking into account the other keywords in your ad group for determining the definition, and also the user's location, which are good indicating factors on whether someone is likely to convert for you at the end of the day. If we're doing lead gen, you want Google to be taking in as many signals as possible to determine when to show your ad and how to show them to the right user that's going to ultimately convert. So here's the big question. Why should you use phrase match if you're getting better benefits using broad? There's really no use case for it at this point. My prediction is that phrase match will be phased out probably within the next year or two, because the meaning has blended so much with broad. Pretty soon it's just going to be broad and exact match, and who knows when exact match is going to be gone too. Broad match is where it's at in terms of if you're trying to look for scale and get as much volume as possible from the get-go. Use it, leverage it if you have, but make sure that you have conversion tracking in place, and make sure that you're monitoring your negative keyword list or your search terms report, and you're updating your negative keyword list very, very, very regularly, because Google then with broad match gets to decide the definition, and you will see a lot of junk come through with broad match, but it's also taking into account the user's history, search history, and other keywords in your ad groups to determine the definition and the user's location. So those are my honest thoughts on phrase match. When I'm building out campaigns these days, I don't even touch phrase match. If I'm very limited on budget, I just go exact match only. If I have a budget that's ample enough for me to get the volume and enough budget for testing, I will use broad match plus smart bidding, and have seen it work super, super, super well. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know your true thoughts on phrase match, and if you even see any use cases these days. If you actually want to have friendly banter on why you think I'm wrong on this, feel free to drop it below, and I'm happy to have a discussion with you. But these are my true thoughts on phrase match, and would love to hear yours as well. And if you actually have a use case where it's working really well for you, do share it, and maybe my opinion might change. But as it stands right now in late 2024, that's my opinion. And I am going to leave you here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I post videos every week on Google Ads, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you very much.